Hello, my yarny friends. It's Teresa with Critters Crochet, and this is Wednesday. It is the third Wednesday of the month, and that means it's time to reveal what we've made for Battle of the Stitches. Are you ready? Da, 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 da. I was going for Shrug, but it turned more into a bolero than a shrug. But this is it right here. And there's the arms. Right here, I'll show you what it looks like when I put it on. I looked at patterns just to get inspiration. I looked at patterns that were for shrugs. I looked at boleros, and this is what I came up with. It's kind of like a bolero and shrug mix. I took a little bit of what I saw and just come up with my own thing. So this is it. It's just something to keep your shoulders warm. Goes across the back like this. And it's just something to keep your shoulders warm. I think I will take this with me and wear it to church because it gets a little chilly in our auditorium. And so this would be perfect because if I wear anything too heavy, I get too hot. So I think this would be perfect just to put over my shoulders and keep the chill out. So there's the bolero. I hope you guys like it. And remember, we have 5 Wednesdays this month. So, and I think I've repeated this again at the end of the video, but we have 5 Wednesdays this month. So that means that once you've watched my video, Heather from Strings and Threads, Camille from Camille's Creations, and then Paige from Paige Loves Pumpkins. Once you watch all 4 of our reveal videos today, then Heather will have a voting. Good night, I can't talk. Heather from Strings and Threads will have a voting poll put up on her post on her community tab or post on her channel. And as soon as she creates that, I will edit the description box and add that link in the description box. You can either go back to my sorry about that. You can either go back to the description box here for this video or head over to Strings and Threads to Heather's community tab. Well, you know what? No, that's not how I'm going to do it. I will share once Heather puts the voting poll up, then I will share it on my post as a post on my channel. That way you can click on it, the link, and go right to the voting poll. And make sure after you vote, if you want to be included in the drawing to win one of our projects, then you must leave a comment. If you just vote, we don't see your name and we don't know who voted. But if you comment below the poll, then we will have your name and we can enter you in the drawing. So since we have 5 Wednesdays this month, we will hold voting open up for 2 weeks. The last Wednesday of the month is when we will go live, and Heather will tell us whose project got the most votes. And then also, we will draw one name from all of you who voted to win one of our projects. So I am so glad to see you guys here today. Thank you for joining us. Remember to check out the other 3. I will have their links in the description box below. And let's head over to the table so you can see how to make this really quick and simple bolero slash shrug. All right, see it right over here at the table. All right, y'all, we are at the table, and I hope you're really excited to learn how I've made this shrug. I'm really excited to show it to you. I think it's turned out really cute. So what I'm using, again, I showed you in the beginning, the Karen Cakes in the color Blueberry, but here's the specs on it right here. It's a 7.1 ounce, 200 gram, 383 yards, 300 meters. And I have 4 of these, so I'm hoping that's going to be enough. I hoped that would have been enough to do this shrug, and I'm excited. So it's in the color Blueberry. I don't know if you can still get these or not. I've had this on my shelf for quite a while. But to start the shrug, I'm using my 6mm O-Fire hook with this, and this is a 4-weight yarn. So I have done, for my size, what I did is I did a chain that, and I measured from, I kind of looked at other Shrug patterns just to get measurements, not necessarily construction, but just measurements. And so what I did with this chain, I've made a chain of 142 chains, okay, for my size. And then what I did was I held the chain up to go from arm across my chest to the other arm where I wanted the sleeves to begin on each arm. And that measurement for me was 142 chains. And I think, let me get my measuring tape. I had this measured and I forgot to write it down. So let me measure this. Let me measure the length of this chain. This is 142 chains across. And that gives me a length of about 56.5 inches, okay? And I will be, the Shrug itself, that's the length of it from arm to arm. The width of it this way will be about 22 inches, okay? So you just have to do yours for your body measurement. So what I'm going to do is the first, I'm going to be using the Alternating Eyelet 2 for this tutorial. And so what I want to do is, I did 142 because that is 3 stitches plus 1. So that equals that out for that multiple for the Eyelet 2. And so the first one is to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And let me bring this in a little bit. So my first row, instead of going into this way on the right side and into the top of the chain, makes a nicer, neater edge. I'm turning this over and I'm going into these, I don't know if you can even see them, these back bumps that are, if you turn here's the front part of the chain where you see the V's. If you turn it over, you'll see these bumps, back bumps. And so I'm going into the second back bump, and that's where I'm putting my first row of single crochets, is in these back bumps along the back. Okay, so if you have it this way, this is the top of your V where most people go in, but if you turn, that next little bump right there on the back is what I'm going into. So I'm doing all of my stitches across, all my single crochets are going to be going across and going into that back bump. And using a 6mm hook helps my stitches not to be so tight so that I can easily get in to those stitches like that. So I'm not going to spend my whole time doing this. I'm just on camera. I'm going to go off and do this off camera, but I'm just going to continue doing my single crochets in the back bump all the way down the length of my chain, and you can see how this just gives it a neater finish to it. You don't have that big gap at the bottom if I was to do it in the top of the chain. So I'll come back when I get to the end of this chain and we'll start the second row. All right, guys, I'm finished with row 2 with my eyelets. I don't know if you can see, there we go, you can see that better. So for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now for row 3, it's just a row of single crochets. This single does not count as, or this chain does not count as a stitch. So I'm going to go right into that first stitch above my last double and put a single in the space, and then a single on top of each double. 1, 2 doubles, single in the space. Okay, and then I'm going to continue that, a single on top of each double and a single in the space. single on a double, single on a double, single in the space. I'm going to do that all the way down the length of this, and I will be right back when I get to the end of this row. All right, guys, I'm back. I have finished the third row, and I just want to measure real quick because we're going to repeat row 2. We're going to repeat the eyelet row and then the single crochet row till we get the length that we want of our project. So that's a little over an inch. So I'm going to have to, I want 22 inches. So I'm going to have to repeat rows 2 and 3 about 22 times or 21 more times to get to the length I want. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3. That means you're going to chain 4 and you're going to do your you're going to do a chain of 4. Let's start this off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn your work. And then we are going to skip 1, 2. We're going to skip these first 2 stitches, okay? And then you're going to do your, and you just look, you don't even have to count. 2 doubles over the 2 doubles from the 2 rows below. So let's put 2 doubles here. Chain 1, skip a stitch, 2 doubles. Okay, that's your repeat for row 2. Then row 3 is chain 1 and do a single crochet on the top of each double and in the chain space. And you just keep repeating that until you get your desired width. Of course, mine is going to be 22 inches because of my measurements. So when I get all the repeats done of row 2 and 3, then I will come back and show you how to put this together as a shrug. All right, guys, I am back and I have finished all the rows in my rectangle that I was working on. And this is it. It's pretty long. It measures from top to bottom of this, the width. Let me see if I can, I don't know if I can zoom out any further. Whoop, wrong way. Nope. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit further. Here we go. So from the top to the bottom, this width right here is 20 inches, okay? And then the length of my rectangle from this end all the way over to the other end over here is 54. So it's a 54 by 20 for my body. And what I want to show you is I did a little drawing right here. Let me come in right here real quick where you can see this. I'm kind of taking notes as I made this. So it's a 54 by 20, and what it is with this, the bottom, the top comes right at my neck, and the bottom hits about just, I kind of did this a little low. It hits right just under, probably right in here under my arms, okay? And the sleeves hit at about a 3/4 inch length sleeve on my arm, okay? So the next thing that you want to do once you've gotten your rectangle made, let me see if I can, yeah, zoom back out. When you have your rectangle made, then what you want to do is you want to take, this is the right, let's see, let me get my right and wrong sides. You want to take wrong sides together and you want to fold together your wrong sides, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to match up your holes, these spaces right here. Here's the first space. And you want to count over, you're going to match these spaces up so they line up, okay? So you want to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you want to make sure you're on the 10th one on both sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, see, I'm off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and these are the two that match up. And you want to close them up with a stitch marker like this. So I'm going to do that on the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, so I folded my rectangle. I've got stitch marker on the 10th space here and the 10th space here. And what that's going to do is that when this is going to create, this is going to be the top of your shrug and this is going to be the bottom. This is the part, this is going to be on your back. This is what goes around your neck and this goes around the back, your back, okay? And this. Your arms are going to go through here. So what you want to do to create these sleeves is you're going to start right here at the corner and you're going to slip stitch from the corner all the way down to this stitch marker. Then you're going to cut your yarn, fasten it off, weave in your ends, and you're going to do the same thing over here. You're just going to attach your yarn in the corner and whip stitch all the way to the stitch marker, fasten off and weave in your ends. You could do an invisible join if you wanted to. You could turn this the other way with right sides together and do a single crochet and then flip it so the seam is on the inside. You can close this up any way you would like. I am going to choose to do the whip stitch, and when I get these whip stitched together, then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do next. And real quick, sorry guys, real quick, I forgot to mention, when you start to whip, before you mark these, when you fasten off after finishing your rectangle, you want to leave this long piece right here that you can use for your first side to whip stitch this in. And I forgot to mention that when you finish your rectangle, you want to leave, when you're finished with your work, you want to leave a long tail on this corner where you finished so you can sew these sleeves up, okay? And I'll be back when I get that done. Okay guys, I'm back. I have the sleeve part sewn together, just whip stitched together on this end and on this end. Now, like I said, when I put these on my arm, I said 3/4. I lied a little bit. Let me slip this on and let me show you. Well, no, I didn't. All right, so I've got this on me, and the sleeves come down and hit me about right here. You could do just a small, simple little cuff to finish these off and make it look decorative. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. If you want a longer cuff, I can give you a link to a video in the description box to show you how to make a cuff that goes all the way around. That's the length, that's so many inches wide. But for me and this one, I am going to do just a simple little couple rows of half double crochet to go around just to finish this off. I like 3/4 length. I don't want this to go all the way down to my wrist, and I like 3/4. So I'm just going to do a simple 2 rows of half double crochet around this sleeve just to finish it off a little bit, and I'll be right back to show you how to do that. Okay guys, actually I just realized I said 2 rows of half double crochet. My first row is going to be a single crochet, okay? And I want to start on this bottom seam where I whip stitched the sleeve together. And so what I want to do is I'm going to go in to this stitch right here, which is the top of that chain from my last double crochet I made in the rectangle. And I'm just going to do a standing single. A standing single is where you have your slip knot already on your hook. You go into the stitch and you're just going to create a single crochet. You're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. That is your excuse me, that is your standing standing single. I cannot talk today, y'all. So we're putting 1 stitch, 1 single crochet in the top of that chain right there, that last single crochet we made. And in each of the chains, we're going to put 2 singles, okay, going around. So this is going around that edge. So 2 singles in the space. See if you can see that. Well, let me see if I can put, Let me see if I've got some white paper here that I can put right there. Here we go. See if that'll show up a little better. Okay, here we go. There we go. So I put 2 singles in this space, and then I'm going to put, and let me zoom that in a little bit. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I always go the wrong way. So 2, get back. Good night. It keeps flipping up on me. 2 singles in the space, 1 single in the side of that single crochet row. So do you remember you did your spaces with the 2 doubles and then you had a row of single? So in this row of single, we're going to place 1 single crochet and we're going to put 2 singles in the space. 1, 2. Okay. Here we are in our single crochet row. So 1 single in the end of that, 2 singles in the space. All right. So I'm going to do that. 1 single, 2 in the space. 1, whoop, 2. Okay. 1 single here, 2 singles in the space. 1, 2. All right. And I'm going to continue that all the way around just to give that a fun little clean edge. And I'll be right back when we get back here to the beginning. All right, guys, I've made my way around. Let's get this white background back over here. I've made my way around. I've done my 2 single crochets in this last space, and I'm back to this single crochet row. So I'm going to put a single crochet right there, and then this is where we started. So I'm just going to slip stitch right in. Whoops, sorry. I did the single in this single crochet row after the space. This is the single crochet row where we started, and so I'm just going to slip stitch into that first single crochet to finish that row off. Okay, I'm going to do a chain of 1, and I'm going to start right in that join, right where we joined, and I'm going to make the first half double crochet. All right, and then I'm just going to half double crochet all the way around again in each stitch. Okay, half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. So I'm going to continue this again just like I did the singles and go all the way around the sleeve, and I'll come back when I have gotten to the end of the sleeve. All right, y'all, I'm back to the end where I'm doing my half double crochets, and I have half double crocheted in the last stitch, and we are back to the first one. So I'm just going to slip stitch into that first half double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and pull that through, and that's how I fasten off. Pull that tight, and then I will weave that end in, and so that's how that's what your sleeve will look like. I just feel like it gives a really nice clean edge to the sleeve. So I'm going to do this same thing for the other sleeve, and I'll be back to show you the finished shrug. Okay, guys, so I finished both of the sleeves, and here it is. It's more like, I said it was a shrug, but it's more like a bolero. I kind of took, I took some, I don't know, I went and looked at shrugs and I looked at boleros, and I kind of did my own twist on how I wanted my bolero to look. But it goes just around, it's just something to cover up your shoulders, a little bit of your back, and just to cover up your shoulders, and I think it's really cute. So here it is. I hope you like it, and remember to cast your vote. There will be a voting poll after everybody's videos are put out. Mine, Heather from Strings and Threads, Camille from Camille's Creations, and Paige from Paige Loves Pumpkins. And once all of our videos are out, Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this. Once all of our videos are out, then Heather will have a voting poll on her community tab, and she's going to put that up, and as soon as she does, then I'll share a link to my community tab for that so that you can go and vote for your favorite. Make sure when you vote that you put a comment below the voting poll so we know that you voted, and that will get your name into the entry into the drawing. If we pick your name on the live, then you will get to choose which of the 4 projects you would like for your prize. So head over and make sure you vote. And then we have 5 Wednesdays this month. So what's going to happen is today, starting today, the voting will open after all 4 of our videos are posted. The voting will be open. Go cast your vote and comment, and you will have actually 2 weeks to get your votes in and your comments. Normally we go live on the 4th Wednesday, but when we have a month like October that has 5 Wednesdays, we wait and have the live on the last Wednesday of the month. So when it gets closer to that last Wednesday of the month, I will be making a post announcing that date and what time our live will be, so you can join in and see whose project got the most votes and who's going to be our lucky winner for this month. So I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial for my Shrug, and please go and watch all the other 4. Their channels will be linked in my description box so you won't miss them, and I will talk to you soon. Bye guys.